Gulf always look to some of their patterns on proactiveness. Start the program here, show the ability for it to grow, show its results, show the country that we can do it. As they say, yes we can. The productivity will prove itself and it tilts better the nation. In 25 years, the world's population shall double, thus creating a waste problem that we can't come out from if we continue on the current patterns of waste. So it needs to start now. Mentality, mentality, mentality. Please, everybody, come on board. I know the community I come from is a caring community, a supportive community. Support one another in the fight against trash. We treat this goods as if we have another one to go to. Please keep that in mind. Just as you honor your parents and your mother, honor the schools and honor the schools, because there's no one to go to. I'd like to thank everybody that came out here tonight, and I look forward to this project taking flight. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanson. I feel like we can do better for our hard work. Who brought this fantastic project to your community and our community. So as Anderson said, the amount of waste and trash that we produce as a nation isn't something to boast about. However, contrastingly, something that we should boast about is the fact that we are trying to rectify these problems. Something that we should boast about is this project. So now, I want to invite the Public Health Inspector for Mrs. Natasha Howard to give you an overview and boast about this project.
Pleasant good evening to all. Your Worship, Mayor, Mr. General, and representatives from Suncall, our CEO, Mr. Idaran Singh, residents, councillor, media, good evening, and thank you all for the opportunity to give this speech. The San Juan City Corporation is pleased to introduce its Curbside Recycling Initiative within this area of Gulfview. Our theme of this program, Be the Solution and End Pollution. Bunch it, batch it, bring it, and we'll take it. And at this time, I would like for us to have community participation because I believe ownership is necessary for success. So I would like to engage the residents at this time. Can we just repeat the slogan? Be the solution. Let's convince. Be the solution and end pollution. Bunch it, batch it, bring it, and we'll take it. And I want this to resonate for the next 6 months until the end of time. This is something that should be at the top of our tongues. Bunch it, batch it. It does not just apply to Gulfview, but the country on a wide. Proper waste disposal is very important to our environment and the environmental protection. Far too often, we have seen an upsurge of plastic bottles, and other wastes that clog our waterways, causing flooding and breeding of mosquitoes, which result in vector-borne diseases. And this is it is nothing that is absent from Gulfview, because in Sugrim Street and environs, we are seeing the evidence popping up where plastic bottles are affecting our community here in Gulfview. And this is the opportunity to deal with it. Recycling is now here, right at your curbside, making it easy for you to participate in the most important part of our program that will transform how our city, the city of San Fernando, treats with waste, and by extension, our country of Trinidad and Tobago. This opportunity helps us, not just you, but us, collectively as a country, residents, community, and a city, to demonstrate our change in our attitude towards waste as purposeless to waste as a resource that can be recycled and not just thrown away. The majority of household waste can be recycled and therefore should not just be deposited at our landfills. The San Fernando City Corporation Curbside Recycling Initiative will focus on waste reduction, separation of recyclables at the household level. We call this source separation, and the collection of recyclables, all driven by public education and awareness through our communities and our schools. You may ask yourself, what do I have to gain from this? And we say, clean communities, garbage-free streets, drains and waterways, and reduced landfill waste and management costs. Our program objectives: to transform and improve traditional waste collection and disposal systems by introducing waste separation and recycling to commercial and residential communities, as well as schools, which are targeted communities we are starting at Gulfview. We aim to reduce waste quantities to be landfilled by extracting at source the waste items that can be recycled locally. We also wish to educate all members of our communities, including our youths, at educational institutions, on the benefits derived from waste separation, reduction, and recycling. The first phase is a 6-month duration, and during this time, solutions for any challenges arising through our program, we will evaluate, and the program will be expanded into other areas of the city. So you may ask yourself, what are we collecting? What are we recycling? And when are you going to get involved? We wish that every Thursday, starting after our launch, which will be soon, at the 23rd of July, that on every Thursday for the next 6 months, within the hours of 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., we will be able to collect your recyclables. What are your recyclables? Post-consumer beverage containers, which include plastics, glass bottles, juice and soda cans, and Tetra Paks. These are the items that we wish to collect. And these items, they constitute a significant percentage by volume of the waste stream. And they are local recycling concerns that we have to treat with. You are wondering what are our areas, the boundaries which we have selected for this pilot project. And we are looking at the community houses, approximately 763 households within the boundaries of the Sapero River. We go along the South Trunk Main Road to Bamboo Bay Road and to Gulfview Avenue. So we are looking at that small population in there, approximately 763 households at our pilot. You may want to know how, and that is why I ask you to sing the slogan in the beginning. Our methodology is this: bunch it, where we would like for you to separate your used recyclable beverage containers from your other waste. Empty and rinse and recap where possible. And we will give you all some flyers before the end of the session to give you reminders as to the process. We would like you to batch it. Place it in a transparent bag. one bag you can place all the items in. We want you to bring it to your curbside, and we will take it. We will take it via a recycling collection truck, and we will carry these items to the designated landfill. The only way we can succeed is with your participation. Community announcements would have been shared, and we will continue these announcements throughout the process. We want to make sure that our public education team, which is driven by Swim Call, will be coming to the communities and sharing, guiding us, encouraging us as to how we can be active in this role. Nearing the end of the first phase, questionnaires will be handed out, and we would like to get feedback. The only way we can know we are making a conscious effort is the feedback given from our citizens. And at this point in time, can we be the solution and end pollution? Let us bunch it, batch it, bunch it, bring it, and we will take it. I thank you.
So tell me now, do you think that we have something to boast about? That wasn't convincing. Do you think that we have something to boast about? Thanks to the guy on the left side for sitting here. So say it with me one time. Be the solution and together, let's go. Be the solution and end pollution. Bunch it, batch it, bring it. Okay, they learned. Good. At this point, we will ask His Worship the Mayor, Alderman Junior Grello, to bring some remarks for us.
Thank you, Natasha, for that very comprehensive report on outlining the objectives of this exercise. Permit me to recognize Councillor Anderson Williams, Mrs. Maria Alyong, our PHI 4, head of our Public Health Department, Ms. Natasha Hernandez. Our CEO is in the audience, Mr. Indarjit Singh, missing, members of the Health Department, residents of Gulfview, as we embark on this very interesting exercise as we speak about ending pollution. This project started about 3 weeks ago when Swimco contacted us and indicated that they were bringing this program to the communities. And the council sat myself, the CEO, our public health department, and started planning the way forward. We were so excited that we immediately told Swimco that we were ready. We wanted to be the first city to embrace this project. And within a week, we put this program together. Matter of fact, we left the meeting. I left the meeting, I went downstairs and laid out the whole program and how we'll go forward. Came back to the CEO of Swimco and other members of the committee and said, this is what we're going to do. We immediately, at that same meeting, did a proposal and sent it out to several schools in San Fernando that we are embarking on a project, a recycle project, and we need your input. So the slogan read out that you all just learned and recited was prepared by the school children of San Fernando. We asked several schools to go into a competition and make some recommendations so we can adopt whatever they had to see. Several schools, St. Joseph Convent, Aprima Boys and Girls, Azure, San Fernando West Secondary, Pleasantville submitted. At the end of the day, the ideas came from these very young students, a very, very good idea. We were excited. So by the following meeting, when they came back, we had a proposal to say, this is what it is. We went through the list, and we could not separate two. Bunch it, bag it, bring it, we'll take it, was done by Pleasantville Secondary School, and be the solution to pollution was done by one student from Naparima Boys. So we found that we could bunch it together, use the two slogans, and make it work. And we were excited by that. So they were given a cash incentive by that. And in the whole exercise, we were made aware that a young group of people who had embarked on a program called Turning Trash to Art. And they had that competition at the same time that we were preparing this program, and it was held in our Prima Girls. So we tied that in and asked them to let us see what these young students did. And they brought some replica of City Hall done with trash. I'm talking about 7- and 8-year-old students, primary school students who did this. You'd be amazed if you saw those things. When we saw City Hall, it looked like the real thing. There was a little girl from government school who did a replica of the Monrepo fire station. She went to that station with her parents, I was told, and looked and went inside and took notes. And she prepared that with cardboard and other pieces of trash and what I used to call a pallet stick. You know, the wooden inside part of the pallet, that and all sort of things that you throw away. There was a young man from, a young student from TML. I think he won the overall competition. He prepared, I had nothing to do with this. He prepared the pan man on the top of Coffee Street. That won the first prize. I had nothing to do with that. But you should have seen what he did. He took pieces of old discarded soft drink cans to get the glitter aspect of it and decorated it. It was amazing. But what we saw there was the creativity in our very, very young children and our school people. So we put that together, and we had a prize-giving ceremony at the last statutory meeting. So a lot of effort went into this, and the CEO said, well, he was so excited by the enthusiasm of San Fernando City Corporation that he said, we will run with this, and we will start in San Fernando first. We then had to make a decision. Out of the 9 electoral districts, which one will go with first? Using my wisdom as an elderly person and my knowledge of the community of Gulfview, I recommended to the council that let us go with Gulfview first. And I'm very excited by this turnout here this evening, which means that I made a very good decision because this is encouraging. So we selected Gulfview based on the community, the demographics, the culture of the community, and most importantly, the discipline of the community. We put it together and we spoke to the councillor. His job was to get the information outside them, work with the community as we prepare this. And I must commend our head of our public health department and other members of the department who are here with us this evening, as well as Swimical, who within a very short space of time were able to do the program, put together the artwork, get it outside, get approval, and we could launch this program, which we intend to launch on the 23rd of July. So the members of Gulfview, you are very critical in this. You are the pilot in this project. From here, we'll go to another community. We intend to go to the Mbakade area after we're moving in a geographical sequence. But we're expecting you to make this work for us. You have the knowledge, you have the understanding, and Latasha did a very good job in outlining to you what this is and what it means to all of us. It's important that you adhere to the discipline, adhere to the regulations, and make it work. I want to commend you all for coming here this evening and for giving us the support, and permit me to also recognize my friend Wesley George, my former parliamentarian colleague when we served in government a few years ago. So we look forward to your support and making this exercise we expect it to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, His Worship. So, who oddly has the same last name as myself. Oddly. Before we move on, as His Worship said, you are now the pilots of this initiative, and we just hope that you all steer the ship on the right track. So, we're gonna, in case you didn't get it first, with the entire presentation from Ms. Howard, you will now get a demonstration and a video presentation by Miss Maria Along. And please, disclaimer in advance, I will ask you to sing the Be the Solution and Pollution at the end. So if she does say it again, pay attention so we get it right the next time, please.
That's good. Okay, good afternoon. I'd like to recognize your mayor, his mayor, the worship, his worship Regalo, councillor, CEO of the corporation, and of course the PHI, Ms. Howard, and residents. So I think I could just go home after this because I am so excited, I'm lost for words. Because when we approached San Fernando Corporation, which was really 3 weeks ago, we did not have the idea that we would have propelled to this stage today. Because right now we are able to actually launch the program in such a short space of time. That is amazing. You do have a hard-working mayor, you have a hard-working representatives, and I think you really do. We have gone to a few of the corporations, and I mean, I was going to actually say the exact thing that you were saying, that we were there sitting together in the room at the meeting, and he started, everything was just unfolding at the very moment, and it was really amazing. So you have a very good leader, somebody who is driving this, and his team. So, as I said, everything that was said, it was really encouraging, and we know that this program, driven and led by this team, is going to succeed, right? So it's not just a matter of recycling, recycling is a given, and the benefits are, I mean, I think I'm speaking to the choir, because everything that has been said is valid, and I think people have already bought in. So the important thing now is to make sure it is a success, right? And the opportunity for the citizens in Gulfview to be the agents of change, because we have got to start this. We have got to start to take care of our waste. And I am so excited. I really don't have much to say, because your team has said everything. They have touched on all the importance and all the aspects of why we should actually start this program and the importance. And we at Swimpole, I was just speaking to one of your residents, and I was telling him that, you know, within all the challenges that we faced locally, all the challenges that we face financially, and you all know it as citizens, we have taken the bold initiative to start this program. We have got to. So it has to succeed, and it will continue, and you are one of the first set of citizens and the first area to actually start it, and the first city to launch, and that is going to be remarkable. So we are depending on you all to make this program succeed. I did not intend to say anything, because my purpose here was to support and to do the demonstration, but I was so excited when I heard the leadership that you all have. They know exactly the importance, and this, I think the community here, you are very fortunate to have leaders like this who understand in a very deep way the importance of this program. And you know, sometimes I get a little emotional, because taking care of your environment is taking care of yourself. And it shows that if you don't take care of your environment, we have lost it. So this is extremely important. We now have the opportunity to tell our young ones, and they will come to tell you, because we have public education within our schools. They will come home to tell you, you know what, we've got to separate our waste. It's no longer a waste. It's a resource, and it's going to be recycled. And guess what? We are no longer that attitude change. We are no longer going to throw that into the garbage or throw it into the water courses. I just saw a picture from one of your residents again of garbage collecting right in your area here, down into the water courses. Terrible. So we hope that with this attitude change, this demonstration of a change in attitude, that is going to succeed. So let me just not go on too much. and then we're going to do the demonstration just to reinforce what Ms. Howard has said. So we are going to recycle, we are picking up recyclables, only beverage container recyclables, and it's going to be plastic, Tetra packs, which is like your juice packs. It's going to be glass, beverage containers, right, and aluminum cans, beverage containers. So, very easy for you. So on a Thursday, every Thursday is it? Every Thursday, a recyclable truck will be coming around to your districts, and all you need to do, now if on a Thursday you have not accumulated as much of the beverage containers, you don't have to put it out on that Thursday, put it out on the next Thursday. But very simply, this is like a plastic, so the beverage containers, water, soda, again, soda plastic, right? So beverage containers, plastic. All you simply do, after you finish it, finish drink, empty here. So you empty, then you rinse, and you simply place in your semi-transparent. It doesn't have to be absolutely transparent. You can even use a normal plastic bag, like that. So we're making it very conducive and easy for you, and then you place it in the curbside, right? What we're encouraging, however, because you may have to store it for a week or so, after you rinse, you can recap. If you cannot rinse for some reason, you simply recap and you place it into the garbage bin, and that's it. For the glass, it's the same thing. For the aluminum, you rinse, it's the same thing. Very simple, and this is the Tetra packs. Of course, the small ones, the 1 liters and so, you rinse and you simply recap, place in garbage, you tie it, and place it on your curbside. As simple as that. Very, very simple. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll run the 2 videos. We have 2 videos for you. Afterwards, I guess we'll do the questions and answers. Any concerns you have, anything to clarify, we will afterwards, because the 2 videos that we're going to show you, number 1 is going to show the importance of recycling, plastic in particular. The second video, we're going to show you the program, and I must say we had a pilot project that was started in the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation, and that pilot has been very successful. That was the first set of pilots, so you're going to see a little clip on that one. Yeah, so that's it, yeah. Yes, you will bring the next one.
The same way, yet all had very different impacts on the quality of life on Earth. The adventures all began here, in an oil refinery. The adventurers' bodies were made of plastic, chemically bonding oil molecules and gas molecules together, forming monomers. These monomers were bonded together, forming long polymer chains, making plastic in the form of millions of tiny pellets. The pellets were melted in manufacturing plants, then formed in molds, giving them their shapes. Factories filled the bottles with liquids. They were packaged, shipped, purchased, consumed, and then thrown away. It is at this point that all 3 of the adventures take very different paths. Along with millions of tons of other plastic bottles, this bottle ended up in a landfill that grew larger and larger every day. Rainwater collected in the landfill. Like a sponge, the rainwater absorbed the toxic compounds found in the dump site. A toxic mixture called leachate spread throughout the water. Leachate is like a toxic soup and moves into groundwater, soil, and streams. The leachate ruined ecosystems and made wildlife sick. It could take this bottle up to 1,000 years or longer to decompose. The next bottle's adventure is different. It drifted on a stream, then flowed down a river and was carried to the ocean. It's in the ocean where it rode the currents for months before finding itself stuck in one of the Earth's 5 gyres, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a vortex caused by the currents that had collected millions of tons of plastic. Most plastic doesn't biodegrade. However, as the sun beat down on the plastic in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, the plastics were broken down into tiny pieces called microplastics. Sea life ate tiny pieces of plastic thinking it was food. This made them feel full when they were actually starving to death. Think about this. Imagine a small fish eating many pieces of toxic microplastics. And that small fish is eaten by a larger squid. And that squid is eaten by a larger tuna. And then what? That tuna is eaten by humans, passing the microplastics toxins up the food chain. Finally, the last adventure is very different. This bottle was placed into a recycling container. It was picked up by a truck and along with many other recycled bottles, compressed into a large cube-shaped block. It was shredded, washed, and melted back into tiny pellets, the raw material used to make plastics. Thanks to the person who placed this plastic bottle into the recycling container and to the efforts of the recyclers, this bottle was able to be reborn and return as one of the useful items made from recycled plastics. Ultimately, people should completely stop the production of new plastic. Until then, every piece of existing plastic should be reused and recycled. The quality of life on Earth depends on it. Reasons to recycle. Let's take a look at 3 advantages.
I work at the Guanapo landfill site. We do a lot of recycling now. We do bottles, cans, Tetra Paks, glass, and types of plastic.
We receive materials from Plastic Heap and from the IKEA project, as well as from the Tunapuna Piaku Curbside project. Once the material is sorted, it goes down to our beverage container recycling facility in Port of Spain. The Curbside Recycling Program was an initiative between the Tunapuna Piaku Regional Corporation as well as SwimCall.
I was pleasantly surprised that, they wanted to start this program in my area because I really don't like getting rid of this stuff to go in the landfill.
The total amount of incoming tonnage is 700,000 tons of waste per year. 70% of all incoming waste is recyclable. Why are we wasting that economic resource and putting it into a landfill?
We need to spread the word so people will have an idea what we are doing here so that they can take it upon themselves and start it in the homes. It's for everybody to be involved in, children, adults. It could be a permanent thing if we have everybody on board.
We realized that we were able to pick up 1 million containers in the first 6 months, and that's only a small part of Trin City. I think it's something that the government should and will invest in, and we'll see soon that attitudes will change quickly.
It doesn't take much to contribute in a positive way. It's just a matter of taking the learnings from this program, and refining it a bit and, implementing it in other areas,
If other regional corporations come on board, then we can get a national curbside collection program going. This could be implemented in a period of 6 months to a year. We can achieve full-scale recycling.
Thank you so much, Ms. Along. I'm so sure that everyone learned something from that video. Yeah. So tell me now, once again, do we now have something to boast about? Yeah? And I will tell you, the guy on the left again, my biggest supporter. I'll tell you a secret. So I'm not from Gulfview, I don't live in Gulfview. But I find Gulfview to be a beautiful residence and a beautiful community. And that's showcased in the fact that I'm a musician, and it's showcased in the fact that I'm always shooting music videos here. So if like 2 weeks ago, you were questioned by the amount of young people on Fahey Street, or you were wondering why at like 10 o'clock at night you were hearing some pan coming from like next to Amin's Roti Shop's place, that was me. Or if you're wondering why like 2 days ago, a guy was running on the field. Yeah, if a guy was running on the field with a national flag, that was me, because I shoot music videos here all the time. Now for the self-plug, if you haven't checked them out yet, you can on my YouTube channel. And since we're on that theme of self-promotion, what the mayor spoke about, the Trash Art Initiative, that's from my organization, the San Fernando West Youth League. And he spoke a lot about it, so I don't need to go in any more detail. But what I will ask is that you go on our Facebook page, San Fernando West Youth League, and you actually look at the pictures from the initiative. Because in no way possible could I explain to you how fantastic it is. You literally have to either see it in person or see the pictures. And before we get to the next part, let me just take the opportunity to compliment the San Fernando City Corporation, His Worship the Mayor, and the Councillor for this initiative, which I think is amazing and will propel this community to the highest of heights. Next time I'll come with cues for when to clap, when to say yes, and when to laugh. I'll come prepared. So now we go into the open forum. And in that, you're allowed to ask any questions you want and address them to anyone at the head table concerning this initiative. So just, in any way, just step forward and we'll entertain you. Clifton's attire. Let's congratulate our team in advance on their World Cup victory, their final World Cup victory. And let me just open the loan table for you to jump on our team support. We won't call it bandwagonists at this point. It's a loan table, as in you go back to your team afterwards. So you can check me privately and we'll sort out that. But the mic is open. Any questions?
Good night. Your Worship the Mayor, the health inspector, our representative for San Fernando West, Mr. Leong, and Chairman, WAC Radio, and fellow citizens. My name is Sham Ramnarayan. I reside at Ocean Avenue for the past 18 years. Coming to this community has given me, since I came, I was always part of the organization, the Gulfview Residents Association. I think it's now headed by my good friend Andy Williams. He's a bit tired, but we'll see about that, Andy. I think the initiative to use Gulfview as a pilot is really going to do two things, in my personal opinion, because it's going to help us in Gulfview be better at what we do, at what we're already doing. And it's going to make the corporation and the mayor also look better. Now, I'll tell you, I'll explain why. And that is why we really need to work hand in hand and to solve the issues we have one at a time. And to me, my daughter is, ironically, I'm sorry she's not here. She's an environmental engineer. She's a scholarship winner. Unfortunately, they couldn't find a job here for her, so she had to take up a job in Miami. But this is her passion, and she has led the way for us. We did it initially, and then when she came on board, having that mindset, she really has taught me, myself, and my wife, and the others a lot. And we started separating trash sometime now. In fact, we take our recyclables as far as Palmis as a collection center. And we still do that. So hearing about this curbside, it's, it's really, really, really falling in place for us. And I think this initiative is going to start other initiative, how we get rid of waste. Because I live at the entrance of a park, and sometimes some of the neighbors think that I own the park, because I like the police for the park. Because when they come, they cut their branches and stuff like that. They come and throw it in the park entrance, and I have a problem with that. Because I told my people who seen about my landscaping, anytime I catch you all throwing anything there, don't come back by me. And that's the initiative we need to take. So as we go along, I know this with the plastics is really good, and the recyclables, sorry, not only plastics. And we go so far, and I want to share it with everybody too, is that we don't buy bottled water. I know it is not probably, so for some businesses, it's not good, but for us, it's a decision we have made not to buy bottled water. Because when you test the bottled water, sometimes the pipe water is better. So what we do, we buy the dispenser with the filters, and we fill the water into that, and we get our water. So we eradicate plastics and bottles that we generate as waste from our house. And we do it here, and where my daughter is, we also do the same thing. Hearing about it, I thought probably, I know the curbside because we probably reach one stage where we're going to have, like they do in other places, like in Miami, for example, where they have a bin for recycle and a normal trash bin. So the truck come and just pick it up and stuff like that. I think we'll reach that stage when we started to pay our taxes and stuff like that. And the corporation can afford to pay the bills, right? Okay, so I don't want to take up much more time, but I want to say I am excited about the initiative, and I am on board 110%. And anything to develop my community, you have my support. Thank you.
For example, many other. Okay. Yeah, we have asked others to speak, but as I was saying, you're a prime example of why I push so much for Gulfview. With this level of dedication, this project will surely take flight. So we'd like to invite other residents, anyone with questions, input, to come up. See the gentleman in the orange coverall, yes?
Yeah, very visible. Hi, good evening, everyone. City Mayor, and good evening, and to all the entire head table, good evening. And to the residents and all those who are present here. So let me just start off by saying this is an excellent initiative. I think it's only benefiting in terms of not just the community, but for the country at large. When you go outside there and you see how much litter is on the street, on the beaches after a weekend, and sometimes it's very disappointing. I drive basically 4.5 hours every day to commute to work. And I pass by the beach after a weekend, and I see the garbage that is left indiscriminately on the beaches. And who leaves the garbage there but us as Trinidadian as citizens? And we really, not in terms of people that are very clean in terms of what we do. So when I see this initiative, it helps us to understand that we are impacting the environment so bad. We saw a great video there where we look at the garbage is actually going into the ocean and it's impacting the fishes. We have an environment here where we look at turtles coming into our country nesting, and we see the impact. So in Gulfview, I'm going to say that we have a nestled mangrove that is really nesting the scarlet ibis. How many people know that? Scarlet ibis lives right here, right? And how many people know that the mangrove is being depleted by several factors? One, by garbage that's coming from the river, Sipper River, and collecting. We probably have a couple tons of garbage silted on the mangrove that's impacting the birds and the ecosystem. How do we really make that change? And we make that change by actually having these kinds of forum, by actually asking people to do the right thing. So the right thing is actually separating your garbage. And that's the first start. How do we do this well? And I think we need to do some groundwork. One, we need to stand up on the roadside, meet the residents, give out some flyers, let them know that this is what's taking place in the environment so they can be aware of it, to contribute and to make a significant impact. Because we can have this program, but nobody knows about it. Only a few. So I think the city corporation has some homework to do. Good initiative, but we need to start getting a different way, where the council that needs to get involved, get some people outside there and demonstrate what we're going to do. I think it's important to get out there. Doesn't make sense we have this and we're sleeping on it, right? So I think we need to do that. We need to also, when we're collecting the waste, I think we also need to know where it's going and what's the impact it's having. Where is the waste going? Who's using this waste to generate a recycling product? I would like to know, is it that we're just collecting it and it's going back in the landfill, or is it that we're actually taking this waste from the bottles, the plastics, the glasses, and it's actually going to be used to remake new bottles and new plastics in terms of what we're seeing. So I just want to, those are the things, those are my questions and concerns, so thanks.
Thank you so much.
And again, I'm so pleasantly met here in South, because I'm a South girl as well. I'm from Siparia originally, and I'm so pleasantly surprised by the interest again, and the understanding of waste and what is involved in recycling. So, to answer your question about where the waste is going, the resource, let's just coin it as a resource. So one of the reasons that we are able to say that this model and this program can be a success and can also be sustained is that in the past we would have had cleanup projects. I'm sure you've heard about cleanup projects. We're doing little cleanup projects all over, but guess what? The waste coming back in the landfill, However, in the second video, you would have seen that SwimGoal has invested, and through partnerships, because we have used innovative ways to partner and use the existing resources that we have to convert the actual resources that we're going to collect. And the resources in this instance would be the type of recyclables that I illustrated to you, which is the plastic, the PET, the first type of plastic, which is PET, aluminum, the Tetra Paks, and the glass. So those are the resources that we will be utilizing as a resource. So it's picked up at the curbside by a recycling truck, a dedicated recycling truck. And it's not going to be mixed with your organic waste, with your dirty waste is what we call it. And then for this area, the trucks are going to go to the Forest Park landfill. However, it is not going to go into what we call the tipping area, where you see all the other municipal waste is being deposited. There's a dedicated area where the waste is, that separated waste, separation at the source, is going to then be collected in a special area. And that waste now, so remember, this waste slash resource now, because eventually we want to say resource. This, even though it's a single stream and it's beverage containers, it will then be further separated into the aluminum, because it's a whole, we're going to get a mass amount of the recyclables. And then it goes through, if you recall in the video, it will go through a process of separation now, a picking station, where the plastics are further separated from the aluminum, the glass, and the Tetra Paks. So they're further separated. And then these resources now are able to be further reprocessed to other usable raw materials, so that can be used to manufacture other products. Now, gradually we are getting there. So in the first instance, and I brought a little sample, the PET, so I believe in the video, So I believe in the video you would have seen part of our recycling facility So a lot of people talk about recycling. So really the stage that we are in right now is just handling and collection, right? So we are collecting the resource for recycling. So we have reached one stage, and Swimcall now collects. We are able to, first of all, collect the plastic. We can crush it, and we can export it for further processing, and that's what we're doing. We also have a plant where we can further chip it, wash it, flake it, and by doing that, we increase the value of the plastic. And therefore, we can either, well, we can ship this product as well at a higher cost, incoming earnings, or what we are doing, and again, I was speaking to one of your residents, and you were so well informed that this flake, which you could pass around, you could actually pass this around. So when I show some people the flakes, people who understand what it means, like the universities and so, they are so excited by this because they understand that this is one step now to actually recycling. So you can take that flake, and it's food grade, so you could reprocess that flake now as a raw material. It's a feedstock that you can then make into any product. So that recycled, say reprocessed flakes can now be used for things like plastic lumber, furniture, you name it. Even reprocessed into bottles as well. However, now this is a reality. We weren't able to invest, Swimcall that is, we weren't able to invest with limited resources to go into the technology now to reprocess and go a stage further. And this is what you call a circular economy. If persons in the, especially the younger ones, I'm not beaten, I'm almost 50 years, this year I will be 50 years. So the older ones, I'm not dissing you, but the younger ones would know about what is the circular economy. That is important, and that is sustainability. So it means that what we are using, it must, the longer it stays within that life cycle, and you reuse it, as our council, this is amazing how much you all know, right? If you can't reuse it, refuse it. So, so that is the idea of the circular economy. And now you build entrepreneurship because we weren't able to invest in that new set of technologies to bring that flake into our product. So what Swimcall has done is we have gone out now for what you call expressions of interest to partner with the public, encouraging entrepreneurs and so forth. So anybody could actually come and put forward a proposal to turn that flake or these bottles or shipped bottles into a product. And that's just the plastic. So every waste stream, it involves a lot of reprocessing and so forth. The aluminums, we crush and we export for reprocessing. The glass, Carib takes it, we send it to Carib, and that's actually one of the examples of recycling. Okay, and the Tetra Pak, we also do the same thing. We'll crush it, we compact it, we bale it, and we ship it off for further processing. So I think I answered your question a little bit more. I don't want to go on.
Thank you, Ms. Along, for that very comprehensive description of the process. Someone asked me a question, and I think it's a fantastic one. They asked, on which Thursday does this recycling process actually start? And the PHI informed me, she said that on the 23rd of this month, there will be an official launch of the recycling project, and after which they will announce to you when you actually start putting out your trash on Thursdays. It should be yes, it will be Thursday right after, and I believe the 23rd is a Monday, so it should be the Thursday on of that week.
I didn't hear anybody ask the question, but I will throw it out because I know we are cramped for time. How would you know this truck is coming to pick up your waste? The San Fernando City Corporation will be using their flatbed trucks, and we will have attached on the panels of the trucks a banner, the same banner that you're seeing advertised. So you will know that that truck is specifically for the collection of your recyclables. And we stress that it is being done on a day outside of your normal garbage collection days. So a Thursday is a day that you will not normally put out your household garbage, so it's a separate day entirely between the hours of 5 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Good evening all. I do not live in Gulf City,
but I live just across the road. Coconut Drive Greenacres I'm representing. I came in a bit late, so I heard the Simcoe representative speak of the area which it covers. She spoke to the Sapero River heading west. Now, where I live, the Sapero River also borders Coconut Drive Greenacres, right? I would like to know how can I market this initiative in my area, and I would like to know, how do we get involved in this? Because even though we are not Gulf City, Gulf View, thank you, Neil, although we are not Gulf View, some residents just across the road are called the Gulf View. So I would like to know how this initiative is going to impact us. Where I worked, there was a great initiative towards this, and we would collect plastics and everything. It was something that was very active in the organization. So I'm very passionate about this, and I would like to know how we can become involved.
Well, we're moving district to district. So
well, I
once,
heard you say you're going to Embarcadero next now, so that is why.
Well, we'll be coming up that way. I think once we get this to work in a very successful way, and you set this pattern to move forward, we can say we can extend into Greenacres, into Sunset, your area, and continue going all the way up. Because we also looking at even the Marble area, the Gopal lands, Springvale area, Sumar Gardens. So it's just picking up momentum. People are asking to be included. Because several called some Sumar Gardens, they want to be included. But we started here, and we'll be moving in a northerly direction, so you will not be left behind.
But I'm sure that we are invited to put our waste in the relevant bins that are available, because
we'll
some
have
people
to
are already
we will
passionate.
revisit at our level, and we'll communicate with you, or the council will get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Time for just one more question.
Good night, Mr. Chairman. Joshua.
Good evening.
His Worship the Mayor, Junior Reguero, Councillor, young, vibrant Councillor Anderson Williams, members of the SWIMCOL, executive members, good night, and also to the media. My question might more or less vary, but it will coincide with the project. By the way, by extension rather, let me congratulate you all again for that wonderful initiative. Take a round of applause. As Shah mentioned, and Wendell, they are both members of the executive, so they preempt me actually. So congratulations once again. Now, my question might sideline the whole aspect of this evening's function, swim call, batch it, bunch it, and bring it. While that is very, very important, a great concern to us, to the members of the community in Gulfview, community members, the drainage system. Well, of course, I know Anderson is trying his best to get you, but if we can have a little more attention, it will be a great, great idea. It will assist also as well in this recycling program. So I want to thank you all for the initiative you took, and we will try to assist with the necessary program. Thank you very much.
So we thank you for your contribution, and just to respond briefly on the situation with the drainage within the community. We have, as the Public Health Department, engaged thus far in trying to alleviate and prevent flooding in this area. And if you all have been taking a note of what we've been doing, we started within the earlier part of this year cleaning our medium-sized water courses. We would have had a mini excavator within the area clearing the water courses. Most recently as well, we had a group of workers in the area cleaning the smaller channels, and we did this in partnership with the councillor for the area, who would have helped us identify some of the critical areas in the community. Further to that, we have been engaging with the Ministry of Works, and as of yesterday, you would notice that the area behind Subway, which is one of the water courses closest to Alley Creek's end, the Ministry of Works would have engaged in some cleaning activities there, and they will be continuing along the Sepero River. So throughout the corporation's efforts, we have engaged with our partners out in the ministries as well as in-house to address our drainage issues. We know that the drains are a bit challenging for us, but we don't give up the fight. We continue to push forward. But what we want to ask our residents to do is to not deposit the things that do not belong in the watercourses. We have a lot of deposits taking place upstream and middle stream and downstream. Even in front of our own homes, pieces of paper, plastic bottles, styrofoam cups. And these things, when they stream out, makes it more difficult for us to clean. So we will continue our work and we engage you to partner with us as we go forward.
Mr. Chairman, His Worship the Mayor, Public Health Department, Councillor Anderson Williams, the hard-working Councillor Anderson Williams, and my former resident from Siparia, right? I am a Siparian, living here for 20 years. In fact, 22 years. But I must say my passion it is nice to see this initiative. I must compliment or commend the mayor on this initiative. Now, all my life I've been in health, safety, and environmental management. I dealt with swim call back in 1997, 99, when Antonia was there and whatnot. So you could look at your ancestors and your predecessors as such. I dealt with them. My job was drafting policies and procedures but on a wider scale, not just individualistic. I got it from the EPA, and we developed the EMA's standards and whatnot. So seeing it coming here to Gulfview, brought by the city corporation, is an excellent initiative. But just to deal with one issue, when you stressed that you bunch it, bag it, and then you say you bury it, hello, we heard that, right? So you need to make a correction, bury it. Correct that, please. Also, when people accuse people from Gulfview of dumping, it's mostly upstream. The vendors, the people passing their vehicles are throwing indiscriminately, giving excess work to the people in the city corporation. The drains all flow through Gulfview and down to the river. When they'll draw a slight instance to the mangrove. The mangrove is an ecosystem where it is in back of me on West Coast Drive, and fish go there and spawn. I have crabs, right? And then when you have all these tons, 3 feet high of plastic bottles at the edge of the mangrove, just lapping there with the swash and backswash of the waves, and that has been there for years. And when you mention the lifetime, how much, 1,000 years before this thing, we learned that when fish consume these things and it end up in you, it is a health hazard. Cancer is the famous word nowadays. And nobody's immune to it. So when Sham mentioned a while ago about I don't touch those things. I don't drink water from those bottles because of the dioxins in the plastic. Once heated during transport or storage, the heat, it releases toxins into the water. You consume it, it goes to target organs, it goes to your liver, kidneys, it attacks your blood cells. So we are watching that plastic for years and we're thinking about an initiative to remove that. The drains, people in Gulfview don't really throw stuff on the road, you know. We bag it. We know the 3 o'clock in the morning, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday it comes. So we don't throw it as such. People pass by, as I said, and Wendell aware that we have been asking to clean the area on that boulevard there. It's filthy. And if you notice where the drain goes now, straight down, there's an opportunity out there. There's a little park that is forming. He mentioned the scarlet ibis, and I was amazed. That got me excited, seeing scarlet ibis returned. I don't have to go and see plastic scarlet ibis. I see real scarlet ibis there. Good, and the egrets is a beautiful sight. All I'm asking the city to assist us in developing that area. So it will be a little nature park that the residents could at least sit Andy is fully aware of these initiatives. Make it also greener. Put some little pine trees down the pathway. Make Gulfview, don't just do it in one way, make it holistic. When you come through from the Gulfview Drive, coming down the Gulfview Drive, you could have pine trees right down. We don't want mango trees to create flies and fruit, no. We want pine trees that will absorb the dust, reduce the noise, and have the place cool. Good? Let me don't go any further. My job was lecturing for 8 hours, so thank you all for your time. Do enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much. So, before we conclude, I'll just ask the councillor, your councillor once again, to just give us some closing remarks. And I'm sure we could do better than that for your vibrant, hard-working councillor who brought this project all the way to your community.
Well, I'm glad to see so many people stayed back. That must mean the presentation was interesting, the information is worthwhile, right? We here in Gulfview got given a gift, an opportunity to showcase ourselves and promote ourselves to the country for recycling, extremely important. Recycling today ensures tomorrow and an endless tomorrow. And to have an endless tomorrow, we have to secure today. With the quality of the residents we spoke tonight, Mr. Losado, Wendell, Mr. Khan, we see the commitment and we know your concern, your heart is here. Leanne, everybody here, we're on first name basis. We know our capability, we know our commitment, and I am gladly there to push behind. The government is behind it, the mayor and his council is behind it, SwimCall is behind it. And as I said before, you are the pilots. And with that being said, I know this plane is going to take flight immediately. Yes? So let me get it again. No. You were prompted all night. I want the audience to go now. Give us it. Right. We'll work with that. It's work in progress, but work nonetheless. Everyone here made tonight equal as possible. Again, thank you, the mayor, SwimCall from coming down all the way from Port of Spain. I'm eager to start, and I think the community is as well. Do not refuse to reuse, and if it cannot be reused, then refuse. We all know, and I'll be very brief as you want to cut off, the country's in an economic downturn. We have a shortage for Forex US exchange. SwimCall is showing you, rather than send our US currency outside to bring in raw materials, they're actually producing and bringing in foreign exchange, and it's something we need. This project could push us to first world status. Holland, Denmark, and other first world countries, they're not producing garbage, they're actually buying it from the rest of the world because they're buying it to recycle and produce materials. It's a great opportunity for young ones to come up and be entrepreneurs. SwimCall is opening gates alongside the corporation. Be an entrepreneur. They say garbage, one man's garbage is the next man's treasure. There were people that took garbage and became billionaires. The potential is there, and you're generating wealth, a sustainable income, creating jobs in the economy, and the most important thing, you're saving the environment. It's a win-win-win. There's no negativity in this. It is going to bring the community together. It's something we're big on, social cohesion. Let's bring back the old-time ways, the closeness. If you don't have a plastic bag, lend your neighbor one, borrow one. But here, what? Just recycle. Buy into the project. You will not regret it. To Ms. Angela, yes, we're going to be coming across on your side. This is the testing stage, and we look forward to great things. So pilots, what do you say? Take flight? Yes? All right, thank you and good night.
So I believe Councillor Williams said everything that I should. So let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to chair this and for listening and being a great attentive audience. And let me wish you a safe travel home. But second and most important before we go, let me just reiterate the fact that we gave most of you handouts and the slogan is on the handout. So we have to do it one more time before we leave properly. This time we could read, we can read it. Ready after me. Together, 2, 3. Be the solution and end pollution. Bunch it. I think we'll take that one. We're satisfied. We're good. A job well done. Thank you so much for coming. Bye-bye.